YouTube, what's good? We're back in this thing. Today we're going to be going over this Nitetive effect. Shout out to whoever made that Instagram meme page, Brian's laptop, because they posted like a... I'll play it. Dude, what's up? We're back in this thing. Today we're going to be going over this Nitetive effect. Bro, that shit is way too funny. I actually laughed out loud at that. But yeah, we're going to be doing a tutorial on the new Nitetive music video that he just edited. If you're not familiar with Nitetive, go ahead and check him out. I'll have him linked below as well as the music video. But I'm sure you guys are familiar because I get spammed in the comments all the time to do Nitetive tutorials. So if you're new here, what I do is a lot of music video effect tutorials, music video breakdowns. I'm doing vlogs now, kind of focused on like the more business side of editing, directing, just doing YouTube, like anything basically creative that's like visual, I'm gonna be doing a vlog on. So if you're not familiar with my vlogs, go ahead, go to my channel, go to the playlist, and there should be a playlist of all the vlogs so you can catch up because I'm gonna be dropping one a week. So if you're interested in any of that stuff, be sure to subscribe because 65% of the people that watch my videos are not subscribed. And if you're not familiar, my goal for 2021 is to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of it. So it's free. Takes a second, maybe even share it with a friend. Really does mean a lot. With that being said, let's go for 1,000 likes, 100 comments on this video. You guys have been absolutely crushing it. Thank you guys so much for that. It really does mean a lot. If you want to support the channel and go above and beyond, you can go over to brianalmada.com. Check out my website. It has a texture pack that allows you to get this Og and Lone Wolf style paper rip effects and transitions, as well as I just dropped a thermal pack, and I'm going to be consistently dropping digital products on there to save you guys time while editing. It really helps me out and supports me as a creator, as well as you guys get some digital products in return. I've also been live streaming on Twitch a lot recently, so go ahead, click the link in the description, check out my Twitch. We've just been reacting to your music videos. I'm gonna start reacting to a bunch of stuff, just having chill streams, maybe even play some games if you guys are interested. Yeah, come kick it on Twitch. I think that's a good way to like get to know me as a creator and not just the person behind the tutorials. But yeah, that's enough talking. Let's get into the video, break down this effect because it's a really cool one and it's actually pretty simple. I'm gonna add my own twist to it. All right, so now that we're in After Effects, I'm gonna show you his effect that he did. It's right here. It's using CC flow motion is the effect that we're gonna be primarily using. It's a pretty cool effect. It kind of just looks like the background got like sucked in. So I just went ahead and chose a clip from the music video that's similar and doesn't have much effects on it. I'd recommend your clip to be like anywhere from like 30 to 50 frames. I think if anything, it's like a little, if anything shorter than that, it's a little too short. And then anything longer is like a little bit too long of an effect. But it's all personal preference, so feel free to play around with whatever. But I just found like 30 to 50 frames looks the best. And then the first thing I'm gonna go ahead and do is go to roto brush tool up here and go ahead and rotoscope out your subject. Like I always say, make sure the first frame is the best frame and spend your time and actually rotoscope out your subject properly. It's going to give you a better overall looking effect. If you mess up and it goes out of the line like there, you can hold Alt on your keyboard and then click and it should have this red circle and it will erase the parts that you went over with. And then I just go to preview and go frame by frame. You can go ahead and click play if you feel confident that it's gonna do a good job. I just like going frame by frame because it's not that many anyways, and just making sure that I have a good rotoscope. If you're actually doing this for actual music video, I'd recommend taking a lot of time making sure every frame is perfect, because if your rotoscope messes up at all throughout the effect, it will just look a little weird because you can see like the background merging in. For this one, I'm not going to be too precise just for the tutorial. You can see this is actually a pretty hard one to rotoscope because there's a lot of gaps. Should be able to make it look pretty good. Then once you've gone through and got to the last frame, go ahead and click freeze on your keyboard. What that's going to do is lock in the rotoscope. It's not going to allow you to tweak the rotoscope anymore unless you unfreeze it, but it's also going to mask out your subject once you close out the layer. So it's just going to go ahead and depending on how many frames, it's going to freeze each one of these. And then once it's done freezing, you can go ahead and click the X here on the layer, and then you can see that your subject should be masked out. Like I said, this is kind of a rough rotoscope. It was a hard one to do, and I'd recommend spending a little bit more time if it's an actual music video, but we can go ahead and fix a little bit of it. I'm going to go ahead and bring the shift edge in to -100, and I'm also going to bring the feather maybe to something a little bit under 10. That should look a little bit better. For the sake of the tutorial, that should be good enough. I'm going to go ahead and now click on your clip, click Control D. What that's going to do is duplicate your layer. Go ahead and click on the rotoscope effect on the bottom layer and click delete. That's going to make the top layer just the rotoscope layer and the bottom layer just the normal clip. Then the next thing you're going to go ahead and do, and this is basically the primary effect in the effect, go to Effects and Presets, type in CC Motion Flow. It's under Distort. Go ahead and drag that onto the bottom layer. The first thing I go ahead and do is choose the position of the knot. I'm going to put it like right behind his head for knot 1 and knot 2. You'll see why in a second. And then when I start playing with keyframes in After Effects, I like just opening up the effects so we can see the keyframes a little bit better. I'm going to go ahead and keyframe amount 1 and amount 2. Then I'm going to go like halfway through the clip and bring the amount 1 up until it finds something that I like. Right around 100 looks good to me. And then maybe the amount 2 to 100 as well. And then I'm going to go to the last frame. You can really tweak it however much you want. If you want it to go back in completely, you can have it go to 0 and 0. And you can see what that looks like when it plays out. Where the effect kind of completely stops. Or you could keyframe 1 to 0 and leave the other one at 100. And you can see that has a cool look as well. Or you could keyframe and play around with it actually however you want and make the numbers and values completely unique. But that's the primary effect in the overall effect. Some things I was just playing around with is basically anything in the distort section you can really add on to make it look a little bit better. I'm going to go ahead and drag motion tile on to the clip above the layer and go ahead and click mirror edges and turn the output height to 200 and the output width to 200. And then I'm going to go ahead and turn off CC motion flow just right now so I can show you what this is actually doing. Go to scale, go to 50, and you can see that if you turn off the mirror edges real quick, because it should be default without mirror edges, and you can see that this is just repeating it over and over again. I like to click mirror edges, that way it smooths it out a little bit. And then the scale is just to show you what it's actually doing. So I'm going to go back to 100 and then make sure to turn back on CC motion flow. The cool thing about it is you can choose the position of each knot. So you can go ahead and just play around with where you think one looks cool. They don't have to be exactly in the same spot. I just did them both in the same spot, but you can move one off to the side and have it offset. I'm going to highlight the clips and click F9. What that's going to do is ease the clips, and you'll see that you have a little bit more of a smoother effect now. I also just moved one off to the side so it has a different aesthetic to it. Some other effects that I think would probably look good on it would be optics compensation. And now because we have the motion tile already on, you can go ahead and drag the motion tile up. You can see it kind of gives that sphere look. Go to like maybe something like 65. I'm going to do that in the middle keyframe. Go to the beginning, go to 0, and then go to the end and go to 0. These are all things that are optional and just kind of ideas. You can even click reverse lens distortion. I think it looks kind of cool this way. And then I'm going to highlight all the keyframes that I just did and ease them as well. And you can see that adds a little bit. Some other effects that I think would be cool on this would be turbulence displace. It has that wave kind of look. It just has it a little bit more distorted. Maybe you could keyframe the amount and size to just the default positions. Go to the beginning and the end and bring them both down all the way. And same at the end. These are all just ideas that you can do. If you slap on glumboy, you might get a cool look, and you'll have to play with the cutaway depending on your clip. This gives it a completely different look, and you can bring this basically wherever you want in the effect, and it's going to give it a completely different look each time. This is a little bit much for me. These are all just ideas, obviously. And keep in mind, the more effects you drag on, the longer it's going to take to render, because this one is pretty intensive on the PC with CC glumboy and all these other ones on top of it. But I'll show you what this looks like as soon as it's done rendering. You can see that gives it like a completely different look, almost like a chromish look to it, or like a liquid feel to it. You could keyframe the softness or cutaway or whatever you want, really. I'm just trying to give you guys a bunch of ideas, really. I personally wouldn't have glumboy on, and obviously all just ideas. I'm interested to see what you guys come up with doing this effect. If you use this effect in a music video, feel free to tag me or send it to me on Instagram DMs and check it out. Actually, the way I found this effect out is someone in Instagram DMs. I get suggestions for music video effects and tutorials all the time. Someone on Instagram just DM'd me this effect, and they kind of just had like the timestamp or whatever. They sent like the specific effect. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I know how to do that. And I went ahead and did that. So not guaranteeing every effect that you send to me I will do, but it is a good way to get my attention and get a tutorial on an effect that you want to learn how to do. So be sure to follow me on Instagram. That's pretty much it for the effect. If you guys made it all the way to the end, really do appreciate you. Thank you so much. It really does mean a lot. If you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe. It helps push my content to other people that want to see this content. Like I said, we're going for 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So any help getting that goal really does mean a lot. Feel free to connect with me on Instagram, Twitter, all the social medias. I'll have them linked below, as well as my Discord. But yeah, guys,